And welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would do, for today's video, a baby newborn Best Buys. And I'm really conscious in not saying the words essentials or must-haves because I just think that gives a lot of pressure for people to just end up buying lots of stuff that they might not need. So I'm calling this video a Best Buys because these are products that I found really helpful for me and my baby when she was more little, newborn, infant kind of age. And so I'm calling it Best Buys because I don't want everyone to rush out and buy gear that they don't need, because what works for my baby might not work for your baby, and what works for my life or our household setup will be different for you and your household and your setup. So that's what we're doing today. I have a bunch of gear all in front of me, probably just out of camera shot, but I wanted to kind of go through bits, like I said, that I found super helpful and kind of a bit like a lifesaver for me. But yeah, I'm gonna try and categorize them into feeding, changing, sleeping. Those are like, for a newborn especially, those are like your three main categories, right? Eating, sleeping, changing. So let's just jump straight into it. There are some products that I don't physically have with me. Either I have packed them away because she's outgrown them, or because we've used them so much that we've had to like bin them. And I kind of will explain about that in more detail as we get there. So first of all, let's start with changing the baby. I have found it really helpful to have a nappy caddy, and I think I go into this in one of my previous videos of what kind of items I put inside it. Here's a sneak peek for you, but I will list that video up here so you can click on that and just kind of go through everything that I went through. You can pack it as you need to, but for us at the moment we just have nappies. Wet wipes are next door with the baby who's sleeping. Lots of creams. She's got just lots of dryness on her arms, probably eczema. We've got like nappy cream in here. We have pawpaw ointment, which I really like. So yeah, this is her nappy caddy. And when she was a newborn, and still now, we have one in her room and one downstairs. So if we are needing to change her very quickly, there's been an accident, an explosion, then I don't need to change levels in the house. And I know that there's a changing caddy very close at hand. On the topic of changing, I found it really helpful to have a changing pad. Now this is a foam one. It's like, you know, it's soft and squidgy and very light. So again, obviously we keep this with the nappy caddy. So again, one in her room, and we have another one downstairs in our TV room, our family room. So this is really good. I would say, as good as it is and as cost effective as it is, it does tear after a lot of use. And to be fair, we've been using this for a long time now, and it has seen better days, but it has actually lasted quite a while. So yeah, I really like these. I think these are a really good thing, and because they're not as expensive as some other versions, you can replace these quite easily, and you know, not to think about it too much to have two in your house. Whereas if you buy some which are like the silicone mats, and they look great and everything, and they are probably very effective and won't have this happen, but then to have two seems a bit excessive. I don't know. I really like this. Then continuing the subject of nappy changes, I really would suggest a nappy bin. This is an Angel Care nappy bin. We also have the Tommee Tippee, again because we have two changing stations in the house, we have 2 nappy bins, which is kind of luxury, I'm not sure. But yes, I really like this Angel Care one. It's been really good, and I actually prefer this slightly more than the Tommee Tippee. And the reason being is because I find that it uses less bin liners, nappy bin liners. So with the Tommee Tippee twist, you have to twist every nappy that you put into the bin. And with all that twist action, you end up using a lot of the liners, but that kind of keeps all the smells in. So if you don't twist it, then it smells. But if you do twist it, then you're using like double, or maybe not double, but a lot more bin liners than you really need to. Whereas this one, the way that it works, this is not a review on the bin, but since we're kind of talking about it, the way it works is that it has a mechanism here which you put the nappy through, and it has like a alligator mouth type thing, and then you push it in, and then as soon as you release it, the mouth kind of closes, and then it's supposed to like trap all the smells into the bottom of the bin. So yeah, I really am thankful that we have nappy bins, and especially now that she's on solids and nappy changes are very smelly. It's a good old smelly business. So yeah, definitely recommend a nappy bin. So these are, I think, all the nappy changing bits. I really recommend a baby bath. So this is ours. It's quite big. So yes, this is our baby bath, and we're still using this now, even though she's kind of a bit too big for it, but for the time being, we're just going with it. So yeah, we use this baby bath. We've used it since her very first bath ever, and it's just been really good. It kind of obviously contains her. You don't have to fill up the entire bathtub and waste a bunch of water. So this is really good, and especially for the newborn phase where they're so dinky, you definitely don't want to be putting them in a huge bathtub. So something like this, it kind of keeps them from floating away from too far from you. So really recommend this. And alongside this, my other best buy, which I didn't buy, my sister-in-law gave this as a present. And at the time I didn't think I needed it, but oh my goodness, as soon as she gave it to us, and once I started using it, I was like, why didn't I buy this earlier? It is a bath sponge. And this is a product that I've used so much, it kind of just disintegrated on me towards the end. And we did think about buying a new one, a replacement, but because she was kind of getting a bit too big for this bathtub now, we just felt like it wasn't really worth getting another one. But the baby sponge, which I will insert a picture here, it was from Boots, the one that we got, and like I say, it's just big old sponge that kind of fills up the majority of this baby bath. You lay it on the bottom, you lay the baby on top, you fill up with water, not necessarily in that order, and the baby is safe, the baby doesn't slip. There has been times whereby I put Avery in here without the bath sponge, and she was fully sitting. I don't think she was standing yet, but she was fully sitting. But because of the soapy water, it just made it really slippery, and she just was slipping all over the place. And so I had to then put back the sponge and start using that again. And this was before it disintegrated. So yes, the bath sponge is a lifesaver for me, just because, again, don't ever leave your baby unattended in a bath. Never do that. But the bath sponge does give you some confidence that they're not gonna slip over and, you know, hurt themselves or whatever. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Also, you've probably seen these in a lot of like must-have videos, but this was a really good buy. This is the Tommee Tippee thermometer, and it can be, you need to knock it to start it. I didn't realise this when I first got it. I thought it was broken, but it measures the temperature of the room, So you can have this in the nursery or close by to a next to me crib, on a bedside table, wherever. But it can also be submerged in a bath, which comes in really handy. So it's also, I predominantly use this for a bath water temperature gauge. And actually I use this for myself as well. For me, I have my bath temperature around about 40, maybe 41. But for Avery, I make sure that I test her water all the time. And when I test it, I also make sure all the water's mixed in so you don't have cold spots and hot spots. But that really helps because I'm not that great at judging temperature. And they say not to use your hands, you should use your elbow, all of that. I just think having this is a, fail-proof item. It will just tell you what the actual digit is, what the actual temperature is. So, and that way you don't have to burn your baby or have them sitting in freezing cold water either. That's really good. Then, what else do we have? Moving on to feeding. Now, for me, I went down the road of expressing my breast milk because if you haven't watched it before, I've done some videos and reviews on different breast pumps that I've used in my breastfeeding journey. But I was really eager to breastfeed. Avery wouldn't latch, and long story short, I spent a large time expressing or pumping my breast milk to give to her. And so for me, this was the best buy. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Though this particular one was given to me from a friend, which I explained in my product review video. But I definitely recommend for people preparing baby's arrival to have a pump on hand just in case something happens, your baby doesn't latch like I experienced, or you need to increase your supply. So again, pumping can help with that. It's just good to have one, even if it's just on standby and you need to reach for it in the middle of the night, on a weekend where the shops are shut, all of that stuff. It's just good. This really saved me. And having it, again, I bought my breast pump in my second trimester. So way before Avery was born, and my plan was always to breastfeed her via nursing her directly on me. So I didn't really think I needed one, but actually I did, and that came in really handy. So yeah, this was really good. I also recommend a bottle warmer. So I've got 2 bottle warmers. The other one I've packed away because we don't use it anymore. I can't find it. So it's somewhere in the loft, but I have an electric Tommee Tippee bottle warmer whereby you fill it up with water, then you put your milk bottle into it, and then you set the temperature on like a low to high kind of volume button on the Tommee Tippee. And it is really handy because you can go out for about an hour, have the bottle ready, submerged in water, and as soon as you come in, you can just set it on, and then away you go, and then you can feed the baby. So definitely recommend having a bottle warmer. For the one that we use, I will link it up here. And on that note, I also really recommend for the electric bottle warmer a smart plug. I just stumbled across this. I don't know if I may have watched another video that kind of inspired the idea. I doubt I would have been that clever to have thought of it myself. But I used a smart plug and then plugged in my electric bottle warmer. So what happened was that I would go out for a walk with Fitzroy, our dog, and Avery, our baby, close to when she would need a bottle. So I would prep the bottle, have it sitting in the bottle warmer, make sure there was enough water to warm it up and everything else like that. And basically, as we were on our way home, I would remotely, because this is a smart plug, I would remotely switch this on, and then it would just switch on the bottle like 20 minutes before we were due to come back into the house, so that basically as soon as we stepped foot into the house, I knew the bottle was warm at a good temperature, because I've set the dial to how warm we wanted the bottle, and then it was ready to feed Avery straight away, and then we'd feed her and then put her to bed. And those were in her newborn days where you'd be feeding her very, very frequently. So yeah, I really recommend having a smart plug. For us, it really came in handy, so best buy. The other version of a bottle warmer is this. I call it a manual one. It's just not electric. But basically, we had an incident at a shopping centre whereby we asked them for a jug of hot water to warm Avery's milk, and they refused to give it to us because they said, along with their health and safety guidelines, this restaurant, this chain, wasn't allowed to give hot water to warm up milk, baby's milk, just in case the parent ended up scolding the baby because the water was too hot. Anyway, that was a bit of palaver. So what I then ended up doing is I went out and bought this Tommee Tippee bottle or food warmer. So I would fill it up with hot water at home before I left the house. It's a flask, it's a thermos flask. And then I would put the lid back on and make sure it wasn't leaking, and then put this. And then I'd go out for my day, what have you, have the bottle of milk with an ice pack cooling in like a cool bag, so it would be on the cold side. And then when she was ready to have it, or due to have it, I would then put the bottle in here and then fill it up with boiling hot water around the sides, so then it would warm up. So this is really good, and as they advertise it, it's not just solely for milk bottles or like formula prep. It can be for food as well. So when we started weaning her, I would actually take bits of food and I would just warm it in this and have like hot water surrounding bits of Tupperware that I would put into here, and it would warm up her food. It wouldn't be obviously piping hot, not like it would be if it was coming out of the microwave, but you don't want food and milk to be piping hot if they're going to consume it. So this was really good, and yeah, it saved me so many times. I could just warm up the bottle on the go, in the car. I'd have this like wedged in between my feet in the footwell, and I would make sure that I wouldn't fill up the lid all the way up so it wouldn't like overflow or wouldn't spill onto me. But yeah, this definitely best buy. Then moving on to probably the last category, and that's sleep. I found when Avery was really dinky, newborn, I got these Swaddle Me swaddles. I think they're like swaddle pods because they're the zip version. These are really good because she kept on having that reflex where they like flinch in their sleep, and so this really helped her kind of get back into sleep or like not stir too much in her sleep. So really recommend this. This was definitely one of my best buy tips, products to have. And when she outgrew this, we then moved on to an actual Swaddle Me swaddle with the Velcros. I've read some reviews where people say ripping open the Velcro kind of wakes them up, but for me, I didn't really see that being an issue. Some people recommend the zip version, and we did have both actually. We have the Velcro ones in a bigger size as well, but yeah, I really would recommend these Swaddle Me type things. They're really good. Also, another thing that we used every day, which I have packed away as well, is the Silver Cross bassinet. So again, I did another video on the stroller system we chose, and I'll link that here. But it was the Silver Cross Wave, and with that, it is a travel system. It has a travel cot that you can like undock from the chassis. And for us, we had two of these. We had one whereby I put next to the bed, and that was essentially her version of a next to me crib. Those, the Silver Cross carry cots are safe to sleep overnight. So they've got like a whole ventilation system at the bottom, and it's fully like okay to sleep overnight. And she slept in that a lot of the time. She slept in that every night for the first 4 months of her life before she outgrew that, and then we transitioned her into her now cot. But because we had two, we always left one downstairs. So when she was sleeping a lot, especially in the newborn stage, and I was doing other stuff around the house and I was downstairs, I could still have her nearby. Or if I needed a place to put her somewhere safe, then I could place her in that carry cot because it's got like solid size. I knew that she wasn't going to roll out, and I can put that like either on the floor or on like a stable surface, and I knew that I could I can go off and do the laundry, get the laundry, make a cup of tea, all of those things, and she would be safe and contained in there. So I would definitely recommend something like that. As mentioned, we use the Silver Cross Wave carry cot, which is okay for overnight sleeping, day sleeping, all of those things. Yes, then we've got two more items, both which I don't have with me. So one, to finish off the sleeping category, is her sound machine, which she's currently using. So we bought the Hatch sound machine, link it up over here. We really like it. It acts as a night light as well, and it has different lights, so it the lighting changes from like red to green to blue to purple to amber to orange. You get the gist. But it also is a really good sound machine. We always have it on the loudest setting, which is like heavy rain. There's like trickling rain and like rainforest and birds and like humming bees or something like that. So we always have it on the loudest setting, and it has been so good to have. I cannot recommend this product enough. We are currently having works done to the house, and I tell you no lie, the builders were actually knocking out a wall underneath where her nursery is. And what I did is I cranked the sound machine all the way up to 100%, so it's operating on like the loudest volume, and it's not right by her ear, it's like on the other side of the room because I obviously don't want to deafen her. But oh my goodness, the day that I did that, and with all the building works going on, she slept for ages. She had like a 4-hour nap. It was amazing. So really recommend having a sound machine. That one you do need to plug in, and so we don't use that out and about. We do have another sound machine, which is the Hush sound machine, and that's portable. You can recharge it, so it has inbuilt batteries. We have also in the past taken that on holiday, whereby we will just plug it into the wall and have that constantly just like charging. And that's been really good. So I will link that one up here as well. So definitely recommend a sound machine. That has been really helpful. And that really just helps her sleep more deeply. And if there's like noises, if someone knocks at the door, if Fitzroy starts barking randomly at strangers, or the Amazon delivery guy, what have you, then she just kind of sleeps all through that, which is brilliant. And then the only other final thing to mention is a baby carrier. So when she was newborn, I did the whole baby wrap thing with like lengths and lengths of fabric, and I did really like that. It does take a little while to get used to like how to thread the fabric through and how to tie it and all of that, but I really like it. I liked having her really close to me, and how there was just no like structured fabric holding her in place. She just kind of like hugged on to me. So I definitely recommend that, which I will also link the one that I got here. But the other one we got when she was a little bit older, I think from when she was probably about 2, maybe 2.5, 3 months old, I stopped using the baby wrap, baby carry, and I used the Ergo 360, I think, Omni or something like that. Again, I'll link that here. And yeah, I really like that. That was a lot easier to put on and take off. And as she was older and a bit more aware at 3+ months, you just want something to get on quite easily because they get kind of fidgety. So you want something that you can just clip into place, click, 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 and then insert the baby and you're good to go. But yeah, I really recommend having a baby carry. It was so much easier. So before, when I used to walk Fitz on the lunchtime walk, I would just have her I would carry her and I would be able to walk Fitz and that'd be fine. Now I have to put her in the stroller and she sometimes gets a bit fidgety in there if I walk too long and I have to hold on. So it's just a lot more things I need to like manage now that she's older, and she doesn't really fit into her baby carry anymore. I mean, she fits into it, she's just really heavy, and to have that much weight, she's almost like 10 kgs. So to have that much weight on my front is not great on my posture and on my muscles and all of that. So yeah, right now I've kind of ditched that in favor of the buggy, which is fine. But definitely for the newborn and the infant, like baby stage, it was definitely a best buy. We use that all the time. Peter had an old hand-me-down baby Ergo. It wasn't a 360, it was another one, but one that his sister gave him. And I had the one that I bought. And that was set up for me. So it was kind of nice having two, because then we didn't have to keep on changing the length of the straps and everything. We just had one set up for me, and that would be the one that I would always use. And then the one that Peter would use would be set up for him, and he wouldn't have to change the straps or anything. So yeah. And that is a very quick whistle stop of all the products that I would say for us has been my best buys. So yeah, that's the changing, the feeding, the sleeping, and also the bathing categories. So I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure you give me a like if you did, if you got something out of it. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified for all my future content. But until the next video, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!